We're posing a question today here on Ravens Rundown, and that is, what changes should John Harbaugh and this organization make during the bye week? You got a lot of time to rest, a lot of time to recover, get healthy, but also as this team sits right now at 8-5 with 4 games left of this season, some things just aren't good enough, in my opinion, to win and go deep in the playoffs. So will John Harbaugh make those changes? Let's talk about it on today's show. Welcome into the channel. I am your host, Joey Peterson. We just had another awesome month right here on Ravens Rundown. 1,442 subs added. A little bit of a step down from October, a little bit of a step down from September. But my goal right here is to make December the best month yet. We've grown a ton over the football season, added almost what? I'm trying to do some quick math. That's almost like 6,000 people right here on the channel. If you want to be one of the next ones, would love it if you do so by hitting that sub button. As Baltimore sits right now, they've got 13 days until their next game and 20 days until their next test, okay? And I don't want to overlook the Giants because you lost to Las Vegas, you lost to Cleveland this season, but also, they're a shell of anything they ever were at the beginning of the season, and they weren't really good then to begin with, because in 20 days, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? So you have time to rest, you have time to make some big decisions, and I think you have time, and I think it is time to give Justin Tucker a little bit of competition, okay? I think this either spurns something out of him and makes him better because of it, maybe gives him a little better and a little extra motivation, or you find a diamond in the rough, you get them in Baltimore, and you've kind of solved your kicker problem, right? Because in my opinion, it can't get worse than it's been. And I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. And I gave this in yesterday's video. I gave it in yesterday's live show as well. And I'm going to keep giving it until I'm blue in the face, because I obviously and constantly see people in the comment section saying, Joey, do you know how many games he's won us in the past couple years? Do you know how much he's done for this franchise? How much he's done for this team? Yeah, I do. But I also know what he's doing for this team in 2024. And it doesn't make sense to just stay loyal to somebody because of what they've done in the past when they're not doing that in the present, okay? If that was the mantra that everybody should have, then Troy Aikman and Joe Montana would still be suiting up for San Francisco and Dallas every single Sunday, because all the fan base would say, do you know how many Super Bowls they've won in the past? Okay, he did all that in the past. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. You could still be grateful and want to move on and want what's best for this franchise right now, okay? Because did you know that in the 5 losses that Baltimore's had this season, and yes, at week 13, they're at 5 losses. All of those losses combined, you've lost by a total of 22 points. Guess who's missed 22 points worth of kicks in all those 5 losses? You got it, Justin Tucker. And I'm not putting every single one of those losses on him. I'm going to put a couple on him. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But do you see the correlation? A lot of times you're losing football games, and a lot of times in those losses, Justin Tucker's missed a kick or two. So I got a question for you before I deep dive any more than I already have. Is it time to move on from Justin Tucker? If you think so, give me a Y for yes. And if you think no, give me an N for no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's YouTube video. YouTube's about to throw you an ad break. So when that time comes, take advantage of it. Find this comment and reply for me with a Y or an N. Unfortunately, I think Harbaugh's answer to this is clear. I think he's not budging. I don't think he's budged all season long. And I think Justin Tucker could lose us every single game for the rest of the season. And I don't think he'd budge, honestly. If Justin Tucker lost us the next 3 games, I think week 16, 17, or week 17, guess who'd jog out there? That's right, Justin Tucker. This is what Harbaugh had to say after the loss to the Eagles. If you're asking me if I'm moving on from Justin Tucker, I'm not planning on doing that. I don't think that would be wise. He's capable of making every kick. Yeah, he's capable, but John, he's not freaking doing it. How many more times do we need to get hurt? How many more times do we need to see him miss right or need to see him miss left in big-time moments and in big-time situations? Because when you look at what he's done in losses, you can look at almost every single one of them and point back to some missed kicks he's had. So in the loss against Philly, he missed 2 field goals and 1 extra point. And Baltimore had the ball down 12 with a minute left. And then, if you go just a couple weeks prior to that, against Pittsburgh, missed 2 field goals. Baltimore had the ball down 8 with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. Okay? Let's go back just the week before that. He went 1 for 2 on field goals. Not the week before that, the loss before that. 1 for 2 on field goals. Baltimore was down 5 with 1 minute left. So in those last 2, you need to get touchdowns. But if he would have made a kick or 2, you could have just settled for a field goal. And when you look at the numbers for him in 2024, his field goal percentage is 70.4. That is the worst in the NFL among kickers with 15 attempts or more. Worst in the NFL. And if you look at his field goal percentage of 50-plus yard field goals, 44.4. That is 4th worst in the National Football League. Less than 50% of 50-yarders he's making, okay? And so he showed you who he is this season. He showed you a guy that is mightily struggling, that is different than anything that we've seen before. But now, honestly, in my opinion, it's up to John Harbaugh. And if he doesn't want to do anything about it, then it's on John Harbaugh. Because Tucker showed you who he is. We can't get mad at Tucker anymore because John Harbaugh keeps putting him in these situations to fail. So in my opinion, from here on out, if Tucker keeps missing kicks, I'm not going to get mad at Tucker. He proved through 13 weeks of the season he's a guy this year that's missing kicks. Now to me, it's John Harbaugh's fault because he's not doing anything about it, okay? Coming up, what can be done about this whole situation and what Bill Belichick had to say about Justin Tucker and the Baltimore Ravens. Before we get into any of that, I got to give a massive shout out to the sponsor on today's video. I have not seen them in a while. It is our good friends over at Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats at the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time is the only place I go when trying to get tickets to any college football or NFL game. And speaking of college football games, we know my Tennessee Volunteers have all but 100% clinched a spot in the college football playoff. And if they play a home game in Neyland Stadium, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to make my way over there to it. And you can also bet your bottom dollar I'm going to use Game Time to get my tickets because I do it every time, and it is so easy. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Now, I've seen a lot of people upset in the comment section, and I'm upset as well. If you think you could kick better than Justin Tucker, I want you to do something for me, and I want you to like the video, okay? I want to see how many likes we get, see how many delusional people are out there just like myself. So if you think you're better than JT, at least this year in 2024, like the video. So my suggestion, how do you fix this, right? How is John Harbaugh going to fix this? And it might not be this year. I don't think it's going to be this year. But let's think about how he fixes this going into 2025. I think you take a chance on someone who's had success in the UFL and just give Tucker some competition at that position. Because it has worked in the past. And we're about to go through 2 examples and then an extra third one. But these 2 main examples in Jake Bates and in Brandon Aubrey. Both of these guys got released from rosters in the past, whether that's soccer rosters or whether that's NFL rosters. They went and kicked in the UFL. They had success. Teams took chances on them, and they've been absolutely lights out. Let's look at Jake Bates first, okay? He was an undrafted free agent in 2023. He was released by Houston in July of that year. Then December of that year, he was signed by the Michigan Panthers, the UFL team. And then in 2024, he made the all-UFL team in June. Quickly after that, he signed a 2-year contract with Detroit, and so far in 2024, he's a 95% field goal kicker. He is 100% on field goals of 50 or more yards, and his longest on the season is 58. But he's not just a one-off. Let's look at a guy like Brandon Aubrey, okay? Brandon Aubrey was released by Bethlehem Steel FC in June of 2019. And if you're asking me, Joey, what league is that? It's soccer, okay? I couldn't tell you what league it is. I guess Bethlehem, guess somewhere over there in Israel, okay? But he got released in June of 2018. Then he didn't kick for 4 years. And mind you, he didn't even kick in college. He played soccer at Notre Dame and then trained in kicking, got drafted by the Birmingham Stallions in 2022, had a fantastic year with them, signed with the Cowboys in July of 2023, and in 2023 is a 94.7% field goal kicker. He was 100% on 50-yarders or more, and his longest was 60. And in 2023, the field goal percentage has taken a bit of a dip, 84.4%. He's still 90% on 50-plus yarders, 10 for 11 for him on this season. His longest is 65. And I'm going to give you a name now, in John Parker Romo, that I think is one that might be, it's not like, I'm not just saying he's a guy that's done it. I think there's a legitimate chance he can make this roster because he was signed as an undrafted free agent by the New Orleans Saints in 2022. Then he kicked for the San Antonio Brahmas in 2023, was bounced from Detroit to Chicago, and then eventually to Minnesota. He replaced the injured kicker Will Reichard, who is coming off IR soon. So that's why I want to target John Parker Romo. That's why I want to talk about John Parker Romo, because Will Reichard, he's about to come off injured reserve. That means this guy's going to be looking for a home. And so far in 2024, he's a 91.7% field goal kicker. He is 100% on field goals 50 or more yards, and his longest is 55. Okay, so my take, I think this is what the Ravens have to do because it literally can't get worse. It can't. Your kicker is losing you football games. What, now you're just going to go and get a former UFL kicker that loses you football games? You're still losing the game. Take a shot. Take a gamble. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, though, I don't think that's what John Harbaugh does. I don't think he's got the stones to do it, okay? And you know what? There's a former head coach that kind of agrees with him. Bill Belichick had this to say on Justin Tucker today. When I look at Tucker, I don't see a lack of talent. Clearly, there's some fundamental technique thing that he's not doing consistently. There's nobody else out there who has more experience. I think I would go with Tucker. Bill, I hear you on that one, but to me, it's not a technique problem, in my opinion. Take my opinion with a grain of salt. I couldn't make a 10-yarder, but he just looks like a deer in the headlights every single kick. And I was talking with our Eagles Now host last night after the game. He was live for it on the Eagles channel, and he was just saying, man, he looks nervous. He looks like he has zero confidence. Every single kick, he looks like it's the most important kick of his life from 85 yards, and he makes it or his family dies. It just looks like a totally different Justin Tucker than we've seen. And that's why, in my opinion, mixed with the old age, and again, I say old, he's 35, but that's old for a football player. Those two things combined together, guys, I hate to say it, I just think it might be his time, okay? So I got a question for you guys. I laid out everything for you right in front of you. What is the percent chance that John Harbaugh actually does something about Justin Tucker? I'm at like a 3%. I'm feeling very low. I don't think anything's going to happen. I'd be willing to make a pretty sizable bet that Week 18, Justin Tucker is out there attempting kicks for this team. That when this team makes it to the playoffs eventually, Justin Tucker's going to be out there. Now, do I have confidence of him in the playoffs? No. But unfortunately, I don't think anything happens unless he loses you a playoff game, which at this rate, there's a decent chance that happens. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Joey Peterson. She's Allie Barefoot, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.